Hey, what's up, everybody? As always, let me know if everything sounds good. Everything's looking good. This is showing it peaking a little bit. Let's see. I've got a Jackie O's from Athens. It's fluid forms. Hazy IPA, the series they do that they change every so often. Saw a couple people posted some drink photos. Got the Black Fork mug, even though I didn't sign up in time this year. So, yeah, let's see what, yeah, Pudgy's got a platform Gym Day shorts. Oh, these headphones, man. India Pale Ale with natural flavor, and it says peachy, aromatic, exhilarating. I'm looking grainy? Huh. On my screen, it looks clear as can be. Huh. Hey, what's up, C. Stanton? Say hi to. We could do our roll call in a minute. Hey, what's up, Robin? Yeah, see what happens. See if it picks up, because the internet does seem like it was running slow here. So maybe that's just what what the problem with that is. Dennis was saying he had a North Coast, but he's not going to make it tonight because he had to get up too early. An old Rasputin. That's a good beer too. It's a classic. Sorry, Rick. Oh yeah. Talk about this in a minute. The new shirt. Oh, looks good for Patrick. Okay, so it's probably just a connection on your end then, Ben. Pudgy. So yeah. What's up, Lanky? How's it going? Cool, cool. Yeah, I was testing out playing YouTube videos while streaming, and they were playing a little slow. I had to put the quality down a little bit, so I was worried about the internet connection. But I'm actually running it through the Wi-Fi. I haven't re-hardwired since I moved back to this desk. If you guys remember, this is where I was originally. I meant to do that, and I ran out of time. I was shooting video all day again, working up in Twinsburg. So, Robin has a cold. That sucks. Well, I was going to talk about the shirt later, but since everyone's noticing it right away, this is so Danny on YouTube. He uses the name Danny. He'd be in the stream as Danny. So this is one of his designs. Actually, have the link to his store too. But so he has them on Teespring. Pull that up. Yeah, but he goes by Pixel Wolf in Instagram and on his store. So yeah, I thought this was pretty rad. So I picked it up, and then me and him were also working on a project that we finally finished, and I think I've talked about this a couple times. So, when Danny first started jumping into the streams, we were talking about how he was a bike messenger, but then he also mentioned that he was an illustrator, but that he hadn't been doing it. I think he said he wasn't really hadn't been doing it for work for a while. So I went in when I saw his Instagram page, his stuff was really, really cool. So I hit him up to do a logo for me that we'll use on the YouTube channel. And my video that comes out tomorrow, I have it on there. I still need to play with how it pops up and everything. But wait till I think it's just so rad what he ended up coming up with. So I gave him like a few loose parameters, like, you know, the photography thing, the cycling thing, like having a drink, like is kind of my stuff, and I wanted something that could represent the channel. And he sent me a sketch, which right away, the sketch, I was like, this is so awesome. And then he sent me like a more complete one, and he's been drawing them too on his streams on Twitch. And then, yeah, so he sent me the final today. I barely had any edits for him. Like, as he sent them to me, he's like, we could go back and forth as much as you want. And I'm like, man, I don't have much to say. I think the only thing I was like is, can you throw my photography logo in somewhere, which you did on the cap. But let me see if where did I, Made a special. Oh yeah, so here it is. But I think it's so awesome, so perfect. So got the camera, got the beer, got the bike, got the cap. I'm blown away with how cool it looks. I think it's awesome. Well, let me know what you guys think of that, and I'll also give them some love over there. And if you need anything done, you know, hire him for that. Hey, what's up? Is that I don't know the pronunciation, whether it's Jesus or Jesus, but yeah, isn't that totally rad? So one of the things with that too is like I love it. I want to do like shirts the way he did this one with that. Even if I'm the only one who wears it, I love it. But do a do a run of stickers too. So I think one of the things which I wanted to talk about as well is all the members will automatically get a sticker of that. That's something I'll just send out, and I'll put up some posts about that. I need to make sure I have everybody's address. I think I have most of them from the giveaway, but there's a couple I might not. So, and I also just have to say, I don't want to bore the whole chat with this too long. Jesus, yeah, I don't want to bore the whole chat with this too long, but launching the memberships yesterday, I've been blown away that people have responded to that and taken advantage. It's awesome. But I really just want to be really clear with that. Like, nothing that we do here, like if you don't become a member, nothing's going to be different. As you can notice, people who are in the chat now they have the little icon next to their name, which I realized I should have went with black because you can't see the bicycle in there or anything. So I'll change that color and stuff like that. But I really appreciate you guys doing that, and it's really, really cool. But yeah, so the channel stays exactly the same. What happens is there's those levels. So if I make a members only video for the members, it's not like I'm holding something back from this channel. It'll be something that I would not have done. And that's easy for me to do because there's a lot of videos I don't make for the simple fact that I'm like, I already posted 3 times this week, but I'm like, I have this footage. So it'll be something like that. Or sometimes I go out for a ride and like in the winter it gets dark so early, I shoot some footage so it's not enough for a whole YouTube video. So I'll make some shorts. So I just want to be fair to both sides. If you did, go to the member thing, you're not getting throwaways. It's stuff that I want to make and I'll make it cool. But if you are not involved, it doesn't matter. We're all going to be the same here. And the membership thing just helps so we can make the normal channel better too, because anything that comes from that means that I could, like keep, like I have some subscriptions to like software stuff that does cooler transitions that I pay for, and it covers that kind of cost. Or like I want to get a music service so I can make sure the music I'm using, and I always like choosing really good music. I could use it on YouTube. So just a little bit about that, and I wanted to be clear that it's a win-win for everybody, whether you want to participate or not. And it's no problem. Anyone who gives a thumbs up, leaves a comment, or tunes in and chats on here is participating, and that's awesome, and that's good enough. Rick says, screw the non-members. Now, Robin said we all stream at the same time, which is totally true, too, because I think Danny usually streams on the same time as me. But, yeah, just I wanted to clear that up, that it's like no one needs to do it, and you're not missing out by not doing it. It's a separate added benefit that we all benefit from. So, but I'm blown away that I made that video and I felt like kind of dumb doing it. I'm like, oh man, like is this just going to turn people off? And then so to see a good response is pretty exciting. So yeah, it's also I need to work there. So if you're a member, you get to use like the custom emojis, and I only put a few in so far because I want to make them a little more, a little better, and I will clean up the members' badges too and all that stuff. So, yeah, just a cool thing. YouTube's letting me do it. Why not? And that some of you guys responded. That's awesome. And no worries if not. You typed wheel set and it said invalid credit card. Yeah, and I'm still working on some of that stuff. It only went live yesterday, for the record, for those of you who did do it. There will be a video that explains everything and where to find everything. YouTube's giving me all kinds of advice on how to handle this stuff, and but some of that came after I went live, so I just haven't finished it all yet. But it'll all be up there. There'll be a way to link Discord to it and all that kind of stuff. So if you're over on the Discord, so yeah, awesome. So I just get that out of the way. The Danny thing too, which this is so rad. Yeah, I am so excited about that logo that Danny drew though. It, like I said, it was beyond what I had thought that and that's why you hire people to do that kind of stuff. Even for the Fitzwater photography logo, like that's on screen. I used to try and draw those all the time, and then I actually traded with designers that I work for, marketing guys that I work for. They drew me the logo and made my business cards and my letterhead, and then I did some photography for their website. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's 1,000 times better than anything I could have come up with. So, hey, what's up, Broadford? Oh yeah, thanks. Oh, so speaking of this, Summit Perry asked the question. So we have the one emoji that's the VGNO, and the other one that's the blue moon. And the story actually started because I think it was just me and Pudgy and Large Marge and maybe a couple other people watching one of the earlier streams. And for some reason, oh yeah, because Broadford's from. We were talking about Rehoboth somehow because Broadford. You're from Delaware, right? And it's not that far. So we got in this conversation about Rehoboth Beach, and I brought up that I was there with my family once when I was a kid, and we were walking around, me and my dad and my cousins and my brother, and we saw this bar called the Blue Moon, and it was like we were looking and no one was noticing at first, and someone said, "Oh, it's all guys there, like every person hanging out there drinking, like all around this patio, this like huge like balcony is a dude." And my dad said, "Oh, maybe it's guys' night out." and I remember my cousins who were probably 10 years older than me, like, I think it's a gay bar. I don't think it's guys' night out. So Pudgy said, well, this is kind of like virtual guys' night out, talking about doing these live streams. So that's why we've used that, and that's why I put it in the thumbnails. And then I found this Blue Moon logo that I was able to turn into that too. So that's where that all came from. And that night I think, was that a night I was developing a roll of film, but then I think I was drinking a really strong beer because we're just zooming in on the map and looking at the Google Maps of Rehoboth Beach and the Blue Moon, which is still amazingly there. So I must have been, like somewhere around like 10 years old. So that's what, if anyone didn't know. So VGNO, Virtual Guys Night Out, and Blue Moon was the bar. So I didn't really ever do a roll call and say hi to everyone. Patrick, Robert. Um, Scroll back up here. See who else is in it. C Stan. I said, "What's up, Robin?" Yeah, Large Marge. A lot of the usual characters. I'm sure Joel's out there. I think he's usually listening. Um, oh, that's another thing I was. Let's see. I want to talk about Danny's shirt. Quick thing about thanking the members. Like, and that's the other thing. That one of the perks is that there'll be an outro screen with the members' names. I haven't finished that yet. All that, everything will be ready to go by next week. I'm actually knocking out a number of videos for work this week, a number of videos for this channel this week, and then I'm shooting a wedding this weekend. It's supposed to be outdoors and socially distanced. It's going to be interesting. I said I'm fine to do it because I'll have my masks on and I don't have to get that close. So they're doing it all within what the rules are supposed to be. So the ceremony's outside. Man, it's been so cold. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be on Saturday. Oh, what's up, Terry? Dude's night out. Dude's night. D-N-O. Oh, yeah. Dude's night out. We were saying at some point we'd like it not just to be VGNO, but besides Erin, who, my girlfriend, if she's still awake, popping in here, really is usually a pretty big sausage fest. Lanky, I could drop you a link to Danny's email. Well, I'll send it to you in a DM. I won't drop it on the. But he's Pixel Wolf on Instagram. Yeah, if you search that or Discord, yeah, you could DM him on Discord. That probably makes the most sense since you're on there already. So Terry, Danny, who I think he found my channel, but he also follows. He found my channel through what was it? But he follows you too. But he designed this shirt, and he's friends with Robin. They ride together, so I picked it up off Teespring. So, and then I had him draw me a logo, which I was showing, which is awesome. Where is it? God, I love that. That is just the coolest thing. Sunday is in the negatives, possibly. Wow. Yeah, so Saturday's going to be a cold evening for a wedding. Actually, that's the one thing too I contributed to Danny drawing that. I sent him a picture of my favorite camera, and I'm like, I want it to be like that kind of classic film SLR. So I sent him a picture of my Minolta XD11. So yeah, hopefully Saturday's okay. They're doing the reception indoor, but it's going to be one of those things where you're not allowed to leave your table, and all that kind of, they serve you at the table and all that stuff. So it'll be a weird reception to photograph because I hate taking pictures of people at tables. You have all this foreground that just looks horrible, and plates and drinks and whatever, but I'll make it work. Keep the shots tight, I guess. Maybe only get one or two or three people in each shot. So yeah, I know. Rick says he likes how he accentuated my cheekbones, but yeah, now I notice that when I look at when I see myself looking at the OBS software of my picture, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is what I look like. But yeah, the beer, the camera, and the bike. That's yeah, nailed it. Plus, I know a lot of you guys started following more late summer, fall, and some over the winter. But when I really got back into doing this consistently, YouTube, well, about a year ago now, and when the pandemic hit, I would do a video on analog photography, then a video on cycling, then so it was kind of split 50-50. And I still mix in some of the analog stuff, but what I'll do is I'll go for a ride and shoot it because yeah, I love it. So I like the idea of the analog camera because it's still a really fun hobby for me. Yeah, I can't believe how the print quality looks great. It seems with Teespring, if you upload a really massive file, it does even better. So I've been maxing out what it'll let you send into Teespring for the quality. Mad skills balancing the beer on the handlebar. Yeah. I don't know. Me and Large Marge are pretty good on our trips of, well, pre-COVID, passing beers back and forth while riding around. Oh yeah. So yeah, speaking of the flat bars on the logo, a hint that Tim's going to do some more mountain biking action. So me and Large Marge had an interesting ride yesterday. He posted his video, and I think, he said he's cool with it. We should just play it on here. But it was pretty cool. So then we ended up switching since he was going to lead the way because he knows the trails way better than I do. So he had the chesty on, the GoPro chesty. So what we ended up doing was flipping it to his back. And so he got in his position. I angled the camera right. So he has a perspective of me riding. And I had my GoPro just on the handlebars. Actually, I mounted it on the stem. So there's a little bit of handlebar action. It's not ideal, but it worked for this. So I was gonna tell Large Marge we should actually trade footage so we could cut them back and forth together. But he posted a time lapse of our mountain bike ride. My video is coming out tomorrow, and I just kind of cut to some of the cooler stuff we were riding around, or to try and get as much of it as we could. It was mostly really fun. It was there was a trail this wide that was in 4 or 5 inches of snow. If you went off that, you would lose. It was so soft and slippery, and most of it was really most of it was rideable. There were parts where the sun was hitting where it was really icy, and we really chilled out on those parts. There were even parts where let's kind of walk this, or we were doing do people call it a tripod. That's what I was thinking in my mind when I was doing it, where one foot was on the ground, brakes are locked, and you're just like kind of skating yourself down some of these things. Oh, the chest mount? You might as well hang on to it because we've got a number of things to trade. So we could figure out a time to meet up and trade all that stuff. So should we take a look at Ben's video where we're talking about this? I actually haven't had the chance to watch it yet. Let's see. Let's see, let me recenter this. That'll work, right? Oh, and turn on. Do I have the desktop audio on? Yeah, you have to let me know. Let me know if it starts feeding back or anything. I still haven't figured out why that just starts happening once in a while. It seems fine. I don't change the settings, but... Sounds good. Awesome. Oh, Ben's bike broke. That's what's going on here. Well, his gears were out of whack. It looks really good. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Ben just got the Hero 9, so... Oh, come on. It's only in 1080. I didn't even play the 4K version. Let's give it a second. It's like watching YouTube back in 2007, right? Come on. Hampton Hills, thank you, yep. Nice, yeah. You could see, like, oh, say it, don't spray it. Most of that would be totally rideable, like in decent weather. A lot of the times, it was actually the steep, like punchy uphills that you just couldn't keep the traction. And we were both on studded tires. Mine are wider than Ben's. Ben, you were only on what, like 38, 42 studded tires, something smaller. Yeah. So and then there was a couple of the steep down ones that we like, just the real punchy ones that we got off. But yeah, it was still pretty fun. Like overall, I mean, we were on the bike most of the time. So yeah, Pudgy, it would be really it's pretty smooth and flowy without snow. Like I say, I'm pretty amateurish when it comes to mountain biking. So like even that first big wooded bank turn, I've only done that once, and it was in the summer, and I still took it real easy on that. So, but hey, what's up, Gary? But yeah, but it was fun in the snow. I can't wait. I think it's a trail that you're fine on like a gravel bike. I would go out there on my rally in the summer instead of my mountain bike. But again, when I'm talking about my mountain bike, it's a 2001 Trek. So, but this is not like this is not full suspension type stuff. Some of the climb out of the valley. So our mountain bike trail, both the mountain bike trails out here in this part of Ohio, but both the main ones, they're the valley wall. So you're just one side of the valley wall. So they have you kind of weaving your way down, and then where streams come in, that's where a couple more of the up and downs could be. So that's worth considering. So when you start at the top, and I think this happens in other places too. I mean, you kind of have a downhill from watching some of Terry's mountain bike videos and stuff like that, and then you climb out. And in the summer, there's spots where I've definitely had to put a foot down. I've lost either my traction or something like that. But yeah, it's mostly all rideable and flowy. So, oh, you've taken both of the bikes out there, huh? Yeah, doable on gravel bikes at nice days, as Large Marge says. And when I say Ben, I obviously slip to his real name because I don't call him Large Marge when we're out riding on the trails in person. But Ben, I was wondering too, did you put that into time lapse after the fact, or did you shoot it in the time lapse mode? Just out of curiosity. Because when we were turning the camera around, I was joking. I'm like, you're just gonna see a terrified man trying to mountain bike. That's what this video is gonna be. So, oh, Robin says hanging a foot out in the snow is a given for you. Yeah, and on those two, you could see how sometimes at Hampton Hills, where we're on the edge there, you've got to be careful. You don't want to go over it. It really is like a trail that if you go off the side when you're coming down the valley wall, you're going to tumble. Once you're down, there's some level spots and then it dropped again. That didn't matter as much, even on that kind of stuff. If you would have went down, you would have fallen off into the snow. Then it wouldn't have been a big deal. The other concern, though, is as you can see, there's a lot of trees, so you'd never want to get too loose in this kind of weather and smash into something. But yeah, I think you're right, Pudgy. Like that, my mountain bike, my Trek is more of a gravel bike. Oh, you shot it as a time lapse. Did I accidentally do that to you? Well, when you see my video tomorrow, I left a little bit of it in Large Marge. So he had the GoPro on the front. Then he was like, well, if I'm going to lead the way, I should throw it on to my back so it's filming something. Me. So, but we put it on. He put it on, and then like his GoPro is like completely sideways, and then we're like, I was joking that I was going to put in the what's that old show, like the bluegrass music that played in Fast Time, but no, because we're like, you know, messing with this thing trying to get it right, but we finally did. But then he was like, oh yeah, you have to press record because he's like, the whole yeah, but it worked out really well. Ricky said you always accidentally put your GoPro in time lapse mode. I did one, where I handed the GoPro to Aaron when we were out on a bike ride, but I was actually shooting one of my Minoltas well, we were stopped and having a beer, and I was walking around taking some pictures at this cool old stuff in the Cuyahoga Valley, and I didn't realize when I handed it to her I had put it into the hyperlapse mode, but it came out really awesome. It just made for a really cool time lapse. The thing is, I like that the GoPros when they do the hyperlapse, it has like kind of the speed adjustment, but I almost always shoot in regular 24 frames a second, because if I decide I want to make something a time lapse, I could do it after the fact in Premiere or whatever your editing software is. Like same thing with my video, I shot it all in the regular 24 frames a second, and then I just cut together a video, but then I left it on me and Ben's whole ride home, and we kind of took an interesting route back to the studio here. So I was hoping to get that up and play it tonight on the live stream, but I didn't get it done in time. Like how last week we had a video playing in the background while I was chatting. I wanted to kind of do that, but didn't get it done. But then I just put it into time lapse after the fact. So yeah, voice activation. He was time warp. They call it time warp. You're right, Lanky, not hyperlapse. Hyperlapse is the iPhone, right? That's their terminology. Benny Hill too. You guys are answering filling in all the gaps for me at the same time. Yeah, Rick says voice activation is the best. You know, yeah, Ben just said he hadn't turned it on yet. He's only had the Hero 9 for like, what, 2 weeks? And was that only, what, third or fourth time taking it out, I think. So, but yeah, the voice activation, I like the voice activation for thumbnails. If the light's good enough and I need to get a photo of me with my bike to set the GoPro across wherever you need it, prop it up and GoPro, take a photo. So, yeah. I wonder. Oh, that's the one thing I wanted to set up, because I was going to see if I could play some of my footage, but not the video I'm uploading, and then I didn't get that done in time. Let's take a look and see. I think we had some bike photos thrown up in the Discord too, didn't we? Oh yeah, yeah, because Rick put up his Surly riding out in the snow. Oh yeah, nice. I see where you have the GoPro mounted up there too. Where is that? That wall behind there with the stones looks so cool. And that old fence. Is that the trail that you said you were going to try out that was right by your house that you posted a couple days earlier? Or maybe a day earlier? Time moves so. Oh, that was in the general chat. Yeah. That's the Monster Cross? Surly has a bike called Monster Cross? Oh yeah, you asked too earlier if we lost a lot of studs. Over the 3 years I've had those 45 North grav dials on my on that trek, I have lost a lot of studs, but I don't think I lose them as much from like that kind of snowy conditions and icy conditions. I think it's from the stupid like industrial gravel stuff we do is where I seem to lose the most of them. And I was just telling Ben I need to get back. I need to get in the shop and buy some new studs and put them in. But we actually went, and I put it in the video tomorrow. We went to a ice skating pond because we rode a bike path to get to the trails and then some roads. But we stopped at this ice skating pond and rode around on it just to get a feel for how much traction we were getting with our bikes. It's not groomed or anything, it's just a shallow pond that freezes over for people to ice skate. So it is a little bit rougher with the snow falls on it and that, but it gives you a good idea, He said, is there any way to get rid of the delay when taking stills? With the GoPro, if you have it in Super Photo, it especially delays it because of all the processing and voice activation. No, I think it is what it is. GoPros aren't. I think the 9 is much better because they up the sensor size to that 5K. So what is 20 megapixel photos? So I don't know what they look like because I haven't messed with Ben's yet. But like on the 8, like even the photos in decent light really aren't that good. If you're out and about and you want to take photos, this thing is still better. And it doesn't have to be the newest one either. Your, you know, your Android phone, your iPhone, even if it's a couple generations old, is better than a GoPro at photos, in my opinion, especially at processing. And then GoPro photos, even when I shoot in RAW, they just fall apart when I try to start like really editing them. Oh, Monster Cross has the fork. Oh yeah, we throw that up there. That was a reply. That's the one thing I love how Discord works as a message board, but sometimes those replies throw me off, and then sometimes we don't thread our comments. So yeah, let's throw up the let's get that up there. Let's make it big. I checked. I tested it earlier. Yeah, the whiskey fork. It's a gravel fork, right? And that's what you're talking about, the clearance. Just, now you just got to build a bike around it. Is that what you were saying? Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, the ECR. Okay, yeah. Obviously. Well, you guys know it's not even the first time I've been confused tonight. So the clearance is for a 2.4-inch tire. Wow. So anything cage mount on the legs and dynamo routing. All right. The new Bridge Club with the 12-speed Dior. What's the Bridge Club? Let's look that up. Of course, I just, like an idiot, like you do once in a while, you just forget how to internet, and I just typed in Bridge Club. Like that's going to be good enough without like bicycle or some kind of modifier. You know? Oh, it's a Surly. Okay. Surly touring bike. I'll get this up here when it loads. Oh, it's kind of like the last year's Midnight Special, huh? The color, not the bike. Let's see. Disc trucker with the new drop bars. Going back to the GoPro thing. Rick says the delay changes the decisive moment into a decisive half hour. Half hour. That's why when you get used to like a, I hate the term real camera, it's hard to go back to anything else. The iPhones have gotten pretty snappy, which is nice, but oh yeah, the bike you wanted sold out super fast, huh? That's right. Yeah, the bear. I think I was showing them on here before, and I think Large Marge and Otis actually are technically dealers, even though they haven't ordered any. A lot of the gravel bike packing bikes I've loved lately are that brand Bomb Track. I've never seen one in person, but I think those are a little pricey too. And I don't know how limited their availability is, but I think those are super cool and super functional looking gravel bike packing bikes. Oh, the Velo Orange Piolet. I'm sure they're doing Velo Orange, as Russ would say and the French would say. Let's look up that one. Oh, huh. That's interesting for them. That's not. That's more of a. How do I get a big picture up here before I pull it up? Can't get the photo to go. I'll pull it up anyways, but that paint job on this Velo Orange is beautiful, or looks beautiful in their photos. Look at that. Oh, the seat stay, how it goes from one to the double. That's pretty interesting with that beefy. Why won't it let me? Well, I could zoom in like this. What do they got going on there? That's super interesting. You have this already? Oh, you guys are talking a lot. I lost my spot. It's a mountain bike. Bike packing and rough road riding frame. It's designed for off-road touring, including dirt and gravel roads, double track and single track. Okay. The fork is triple butted for reduced weight. Nice. Oh, so it's a 29er. So yeah, that's okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's gnarlier than anything I would need to bike pack or ride around here, but for sure. Definitely cool looking. That's when Erin was getting her crust. The other thing we were telling her to look at was what the Velo Orange is polyvalent. Is that how you pronounce it? Sorry if it's not. But she didn't like. I think the ones they have out now are the black ones, and she was looking at the ones from a couple years ago, which look a lot more like her crust actually. But oh, yours is purple. Twin Sixes bikes? I don't know Twin Sixes. We could become familiar with them though, because we got the internet. We're already here. It says, oh, do they have bikes? Because I see apparel. Oh, bikes and bits. Cool. Oh, wow, look at that. That gray one is interesting looking with the kind of arced tubes. I definitely like the, should we call that Celeste one better? I just like classic geometry looking bikes. Turquoise. They're calling it turquoise. It's very Bianchi looking. It's got all the mounts and everything. What is this one? Base price 1950, max price 4230. So I'm guessing that's for the complete build, huh? Ah, it's got SRAM. Forget it. Turquoise is steel. Oh wait, let's see. The gray is titanium rando. Really? Oh, let's look at that. $2,000 frame. $3,600 complete. Let's see. Flat mount brakes, 12 millimeter through axle. The clearance to me on a bike now should be like the number one stat that shows up. Like, what's the tire size? So, okay, fender clearance, frame clearance for 700Cs at 45, 650B at 2.25. Yeah, that's yeah, because you just go 650B with like 2 inches. Then what if if you want fenders? 650B at 48 if you want to put fenders on it. Yeah, that's a pretty looking bike. Oh, all around is a dealer. So in Hudson, about what 15-mile bike ride from me and Ben, there's a shop that carries it. Pudgy says buy a frame and he'll sell me a spare GRX kit. Yeah, I saw Russ on Pathless Pedal just did his comparing his Rivendell to his Crust Bombora. I haven't watched it yet. A lot of the videos you guys have shared in the Discord, I haven't watched that because I save them till when me and Aaron hang out on the weekend. How Lanky has Broadford going down the fat bike rabbit hole. Nice. How Rick said step throughs are Jesus said step throughs are underrated. Yeah, because he posted those two hard rocks that are step throughs. Oh, Russ's is a step through. Nice. You got a guy. Yeah, I love those Rivendell's frame. The Rodinia is one that I just absolutely love. We've talked about that on here before, but yeah, I love those Rivendell. Like it's one of the things with like me and my vintage bike collection. If the clearance was wider on some of them, because that's just I would just stick with I would buy vintage frames, and that's the problem. I do want something more like what we were just looking at eventually, where I don't know when, but my Raleigh maxes out pretty much with the 42s with no fenders, and I could see wanting like a gravel bike that I could put something just a little bit wider on, you know. The lug work on the Rivendales, I just love that kind of stuff. Get a bolt? You mean a lightning bolt? What's the Marin step through you're talking about? I haven't seen it. Oh, like a classic city bike? Of course, even Googling it, REI calls it a women's bike. I hate that. Because, you know, like, that's it's like a bike that only in the U.S. do we consider dropping the, seat tube, making it a women's bike. Because, the French called them mixties, and they weren't, they were designed so you could step through. Didn't mean it was a woman's bike forever. And there's nice, mixties out there that are not necessarily women's bikes. But what is the lightning bolts are one of the coolest looking bikes. Where's I'd be super hard to get though. We have a friend who has one. The guy who owns, isn't that what he has? Yeah, the guy who owns Joy Machines, the bike shop up in Cleveland, is a friend of ours, and he has a lightning bolt, and man, those are beautiful. The Dutch just call them bikes. Yeah, I mean, are they not even showing it on the Crust website right now? Maybe they're only showing what they actually have. Yeah, I guess so. They don't even show the lightning bolt on the Crust website right now. Those evasions, though, are awesome too. Crust bikes are just cool. The Romancer they do looks Romancer, however you pronounce it. The one they did with it looks a lot like a Rivendell. I like the blue better. One isn't one disc and one's what cantilever. brakes, I think. Oh, that's the disc brake. Yeah. So they do 2 versions. I'm just talking to myself, sorry. Appaloozas. How do you pronounce that? There's a crust on Pin Bike right now for 3K. Crust Evasion, yeah. Super nice to have a step through on a cargo bike. That would make total sense. You wouldn't want to be, yeah, trying to throw your leg over the top tube of a bike that's totally loaded up, right? Maybe they did, I know they did have problems with their website, but I'm wondering if they just took down stuff that they, you know, don't have actually for sale. Yeah, so it's completes they're only listing. Well, no, they're showing sold out, so who knows? Yeah, that's what I was saying when me and Aaron made the video that we put out last week about her a month. Yeah, when is it? On Friday about her Bombora, and like about why go through the process of trying to get a crust because they're so hard to get. And some people did comment about how frustrated they were with that, trying to do it, like trying to get a crust. But it is what it is. I think they just hired their 4th person, you know, but for a long time, a 1-man operation. So even having touring bike, yeah. Even when when I have my Trek 500 completely loaded down and it's a 60 and it's leaning up against the wall, we're leaving the gas station or whatever it may be, and I've got the rear panniers on it. Yeah. And when we start on a touring trip, you know, and I've been riding the bike with nothing on it all summer, like my first 2 miles, I just feel completely unbalanced on a bike like that. So yeah, jumping up on it is definitely something that is could be a little strange at first. But the nice thing though about the Classic Triangle, like, is the big frame bag space. And even me just having one like that, like I've said before, like I could fit my tent poles and try to put a couple like starter logs, some of the other heavier stuff, some of the camping stuff all in there. And it's a benefit of being tall and having the classic geometry. Yeah. Man, I made short work of that. Does anyone else need to get another beer? Can we throw a video up for a second? I wonder. No, I guess I can't. I was going to see if I could make it play tomorrow's video. That's not because I upload them the night. All my videos I upload the night before, hoping that the 4K has time to process. And maybe you guys have noticed sometimes it doesn't. But oh, breakaway bikes. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah. Oh, let me throw this up here. Where's So this is the link to Ben's channel. I'm gonna play his last video too while I grab another beer. But so I assume he'll probably he'll end up posting more now that he's got the GoPro 9. Probably do a lot of shop stuff too. If you don't follow Dirty River on Instagram, give Dirty River Bicycle Works, search them, and follow them. But yeah, that's his YouTube channel. Follow that. That's where we just watched the video from. I'm gonna throw up this is commute into work on a really cold day, and I will throw this up while I grab a beer. Get the desktop audio. Oh, it's up. Oh, it's where I had it. Cool. Did I throw up that video and not actually play that video? Oh man. Sorry guys. Yeah, what can I say? You get what you pay for. Well, I can't say that anymore because some of you are actually paying. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it now because now I've said we were gonna watch it. I will get this. I will get my shit together eventually. No, I won't. That's a lie. Oh, hey, what's up, Robert? See where I was when I missed everything. When I played a video that no one could see. I heard the music in my headphones. I look at this computer monitor over here. I'm like, cool, everything's good. Should I drop? Yeah, it's just the stream elements. Click that link up there. Just, oh, this is the one you made the GarageBand tune for. Here, let's get this up. Oh, you guys were able to hear it. You just couldn't see it. At least you had a soundtrack. So he's out on Akron's decommissioned freeway there for a minute. Oh, so I said that was your commute, but that's actually not your commute, right? That must have been after work? Or was it a long way to work, maybe? Unfortunately, there's usually less bike talk and more cock statue talk. We don't have Otis tonight, so yeah. We'll have to get him back on here for that. With a step through, there's an option for a frame bag. I'm sure you could get a custom one to go right through those tubes, right? What would you? I guess you'd put a bunch of clothing. You could still stuff some clothing in there, right? No worries. When I get a beer, you usually slip to Pathless pedaled anyways. Fair enough. Oh, that was Sunday. Oh, before you went out, because you went out to Summit Lake and all that stuff. Yeah. Did anyone, speaking of the Discord, have you got? Oh, we got the dinner. We got the gloves. Yeah, let's throw some of this up here. Oh, by the way, so on Discord we were having the conversation about that brand Archer that Pathless Pedaled made the video about, with that like kind of budget, what it's $300 some shifting, and I'm going off in the Discord about like the shifter he has. Then I go over to the website because I had never done it. I just watched the video, and they did have a more convenient looking shifter. If no one knows what we're talking about, but I do love Lanky's. I was talking about how big and boxy they were, and he changed the caption to "Don't be jealous of my electronic shifting." So
Pudgy Pedal Pusher Super Shattered $1.99. Giant floppy balls bouncing down the bike train.
Oh man. Oh, the evasion does have a step through option. That's right. So these are Rick's on his with his new gloves. Nice. Rick, could we turn that into one of the custom emojis? That would be great. I think that's exactly what we need. Jesus. Throw some of one of those moan sliding dropouts and we have a deal. Nah. What did I miss? Where was that? Oh, wired in. Got some dinner going here. Did I miss a... I like the sound effect of that. How's the bike that Ben posted up? Otso. Are they part of Wolf Tooth? Has Russ talked about them too? That sounds familiar. Ooh, look at that. Titanium on this one. It's on the screen, right? I'm not just talking without showing it. Yeah. Oh, so is Wolf Tooth, huh? Nice. They have 4 frames. It looks like a mountain frame, stainless steel adventure bike, gravel racing bike with carbon frame and massive tires clearance, and the titanium. Yeah, those are really cool looking. Yeah, so Patrick says Pathless Pedal did review the Otso or the 2. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's where I know him from. I wouldn't have remembered unless Ben had shared it up there. But large Marge. Oh, Rusty was out riding tonight. He's got a shot of his. Ooh, look at that view. Let's get this up here. Wow, that looks awesome. Yeah, we talked about it before, but that frame bag is intense. That's so cool. Smurf hands. Oh man, I can't wait till we have weather like that. I don't even care if that's chilly. That just looks great. Of course, Large Marge saying can't have too many single speeds. I said the first time I was over at his place, he was pulling them out of. He's like, oh, I got this one and this one and this one and this one. And he's like, oh, there's a closet back here. This guy's got. That's right in Phoenix. Yeah. I don't know. Single speeds, fixies, track bikes, whatever you want to call them around here. We got too many hills here in Akron and Summit County, Northeast Ohio. I like my gears. Even on the vintage bikes, even doing when I first got the Peugeot running the original, it's a 6-speed and still struggling up hills. I don't know how Large Marge used to hang with me but he did. Riding a fairly big gear on his old fixed. I'm double clicking likes on everyone's stuff right now while I'm chatting. But yeah. Are you sipping on anything tonight, Ben? Single speed you can do for fun, cruising here in Flatland, but for riding you want gears. Yeah, our friend Brad, different Brad than who's been on here before, but that we have talked about on Ohio to Erie when we met up with him in Columbus. He rode on a single speed, and there weren't. Once we got to Cincinnati and had to get to the airport, we had some steep hills that he had to get over and he struggled with. But for like a lot of the Ohio to Erie that he was with us on, it was no problem, you know. Except that his bike was kind of a piece of shit. It was a vintage Schwinn that someone had poorly converted into a single speed. He had bought for, or been given. He had bought for next to nothing or been given it. I can't remember. And then he had strapped milk crate on the back, or did he strap the milk crate on the? Yeah, milk crate on the back. Some kind of rack on the front. It was real interesting. Oh, your last Sierra Nevada hazy. Yeah. When me and Ben went out to the mountain bike trail, I didn't even think of bringing beer because when I left the house, it was 18 degrees. And when we were riding, it was, I don't think it ever got above 22 degrees. So I'm like, it's going to be cold. We're not going to stop anywhere. And then after like riding the mountain bike trails, we got to the one last spot before you go back up and we're totally warm. Like, have already each taken off a layer. And Ben's like, I got a couple beers. And yeah, we stood outside and drank a couple of those. Yeah, do I have I think I, Brad setup. I think I've shown it on here before because it's just so fascinating that he made it. Um, see how well I tagged things. Oh, yeah. Pocket beer for the pocket tendies. Yeah. Well, like I said in the video where me and him were riding out in Rolling Acres and up to the Rubber Bowl, I said he's kind of like my Ron to Dustin Klein. You know, Ben comes up with these great routes. He always has a good plan, and he figures all that stuff out. And then but we don't bring any food or like the fancy snacks or any of that stuff. Ben's always got the beers. There's a shot of Brad's bike. Pull this up here. Whoops. Hang on. Yeah, so it's this one in front here. A Schwinn Sprint. Like as you can see, I would call that no bar tape, minimal bar tape. Um, I told him I like Brooks saddles for touring, so he rode that over the summer. So at least he had this like nice saddle. But look at this setup for this rack in the back. Like I've never even seen one like this. This double bolted thing to the whatever down tube. It's not the down tube. Whatever. C tube. The Coca-Cola crate with the rack, and then in front the just the basket. Like we convinced him to move the weight to the back because that is zip tied, and he cut a piece of PVC, as you could see there, to hold the basket up. Are you guys looking at this? You guys are having your own conversation, which is totally fine. Seat saves, yeah. This contraption. And then there was missing pieces in the quick release, which we never would have found out, but he wrecked into Ben when he was trying to take a photo and he wrecked into Ben. And when we tried to like fix everything back for him, we realized there was missing pieces in his quick release and that basically there was nothing really holding his rear wheel on at all. We were long, when we looked on Google Maps, we were long.
Rick Urbanovsky super chatted $4.99. I was told there would be women here.
Who told you that? Nobody. I've told you that this is a real sausage fest. It always has been. The only woman who's ever popped in here has been taken because. Yeah, Pudgy, you're probably not that far from Brad. He is actually looking to get a Trick totally shattered. But yeah, so Brad's kind of I've gonna put him in touch with Otis because Otis has that Surly that he wants to sell, and Brad's more interested in doing some more touring this year, and also whatever we do on our 4th of July trip, he wants to come along and not ride a bike like that. Like that's a fine city bike, right? Commuter bike, but yeah, I'll connect you guys. Vigiano. Yeah, Pudgy, I'll connect you with my friend Brad. You guys would get along, and I know your sense of humor. You'd have a good time, and Brad's a super fun guy, super smart dude. Me and him have been friends since the 4th grade, but yeah, he moved down to Columbus to go to Ohio State, and he came back for a couple of years, but yeah, he's been down there pretty much ever since. So the less mountain lemon. Rick, we've talked about this. You got to point Brooks Saddles up a little bit. I'll do in your long trips on a steamroller. God, why these are just disappearing tonight? Is it late? Or am I drinking? It's only 10:13. I'm just drinking them fast, huh? What were you guys talking about state? We were talking about state on the Discord for a while. I missed where that comment came from. I missed a lot. Sorry. I'm even more off than usual. But Rick did totally shat. Oh, if you guys happen to watch the snow ice ride video, the membership ride, where when I went into the brewery, I ran into a friend, and that's what he was talking about. How everybody had been recommending, because he wants to do touring, getting a Brooks saddle. Well, he ordered one of those, what do you call them, Candium, the C series ones, and he was like, "Oh yeah, everyone says Brooks," and he's like, "I ordered this," and I'm like, "Well, I know Large Marge Ben got one, did not like it that much," and I was like, we're all talking about the B17." He's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "If you haven't put it on your bike yet, send it back. Get a B17, man. Those are the way." Some people don't like them, but I find almost all of our friends have like migrated over to the Brooks B17s. Oh, riding fixed up mountains with pros you're talking about? That when you sent that one, Ben, you put in the Discord, me and Aaron watched that. It's really good with Alex Howes. Plus that dude is just so cool. Oh yeah, State does that video series. That's what you're talking about, yeah. What am I drinking? I'm drinking the Jackie O's Fluid Forms. So they're from Athens, Ohio. They have a big brewery down there. Well, big. They have a production brewery there, but then they have their old taproom bar that's right in the downtown of Athens, small little college town that's really cool. Me and Aaron have gone to both doing bike rides, touring rides, like really pretty down there. But that's where OU is, Ohio University. Oh, really? A couple of the State guys are QAnon types? Really? Oh, So Ben, you love the Cambium, really? I think. I mean, saddles are so personal. So to sit here and you can't question or judge anyone for the saddle they like because it just. Otis sold me the one I ride on my truck that I toured on a number of times now is a tan B17, and he was like, that thing beat me up. He was like, I couldn't ride my bike for 2 weeks before I broke it in. I loved it right away, and then once it broke in, I loved it even more. But again, it's just yeah, saddles are the most personal thing that exists. You know. You saw that chatting? Gushers are just a gateway, Joe. Yeah. Yeah, the Cambium, just a totally different kind of saddle, too. So you could actually, I'm not saying you couldn't like Cab. I know I keep putting a D in, saying that totally wrong. But so the two different kinds of Brooks saddles between the leather tension saddle and their more modern saddles, they're just two totally different things. Like what I have on the Rowley, which is I can't think of the name of it now, but more of a modern saddle, just like straight, like hitting your sit bones, very, very narrow, very minimalist. For like what we're gonna do, the the ride we're doing, Road Apple Roubaix, like 42 miles with what a few thousand feet of elevation. I will be totally fine on that saddle for that length. I'll start to get uncomfortable in the end. But like for multiple long days in the saddle, I want to be on like the Brooks B17s. So it's same thing. Like my road bike, or even my bike on the trainer has like more of a modern style saddle, which is fine even when I spend an hour on there and in a more, you know, aggressive position. But so it also depends on what you're doing when I think when you're considering the saddle, to me anyways. But I still think even with my gravel bike, I'm going to put a B17 on it. I do have that. We talked about this when I was in the shop the other day. Even though that B17 would look better on my Barry Hoban retro build, I think I might put it on my Rowley, the gravel bike, because it's just so comfortable. I'm just so comfortable on those things. Pat, there's a lot of conservatives, but also the thing about like, and since I started one of these live streams, the rant once about being annoyed because we had some trolls in here. I'm not. I can get along with like conservatives and people with a different political point of view. QAnon, if you believe in that, you're just a straight up fucking idiot. That is a guy who made up that name, posted to message boards, and people like now believe like the most crazy stuff with no basis anywhere. You know, if a conservative has a different view of what tax policy in this country should be than me, we can get along. That's a disagreement over tax policy. If you disagree about the minimum wage, like I'm going to disagree with you, but that's not a reason we can't be friends. If you're a racist, if you have a problem with, you know, people that are different from you, if you're xenophobic, that's where I can't get along, you know. So QAnon is, yeah, I could not support a place where people who believed in that were working. Like, if you storm the Capitol, you're not going to be my friend. If you disagree with me on what used to be typical political issues, that's not a deal breaker. But sorry. Saddles and politics. That's what you guys come here for, right? Patrick says you like the Cambiums, but prefer the B17s. The Blue Moon saddle. Hey, what's up, Warren? How you doing? You tuned in my rant mode, my too strong beer deep rant mode. So, oh, these are 9%. But it's only 10:20, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and have the third. I did close out. Yeah, I got to get more of these custom emojis up here. Fix them up a little bit. Oh, we got Rusty's drink up here now, too. What does that say? I can't. See, you got an IPA. Let's open the original. Pizza Port Brewing Company. Oh. Yeah, to say that like the cadmiums are, I mean, all modern saddles are pretty weatherproof, but when I was what I was just talking about, like running into that friend and telling him about B17s, he's like, well, I'm talking about touring and we're out in all weathers and all weather, and I don't know what's going to happen. But up until the 70s, wasn't every saddle a leather tension saddle? I don't think you. I'm very careful with mine. Like before, I had like a cover for the B17s. I always just had some grocery bags, yeah, from the supermarket, just tucked underneath in the rails. And if the weather changed, or if we were going to go sit inside and have a beer in normal times, I would throw those over and tie the knot so it didn't get dew on it. But again, like we got caught in the rain, me and Ben and Aaron coming back on one of our camping trips, and my saddle got completely soaked, like drenched. But again, if you don't ride on it when it's drenched, it doesn't ruin a leather saddle. Like your leather shoes don't get ruined if they get wet and dry. Your leather straps don't get ruined if they get wet and dry. It takes a little more care and a little more paying attention, but also what an actual Brooks saddle cover, shrinks down to nothing. And so now when there's any chance of rain or anything like that, I just throw the saddle cover on and it still feels like the B17. And, granted, I live somewhere where I could take my bikes inside, in the basement of the studio here. That could be different if you don't. Like Ben, he keeps his bikes outside. That's a different, changes the game a little bit. But, if you take care of a leather saddle, and it's not that much work, I do think they last. But yeah, modern saddles you don't need to worry about, which is a nice thing. I do get paranoid about them, so I think I'm just telling myself this stuff right now. But Swami IPA. Robert saying about the drink we just showed. Michael Moore just had a Hugo Mortensen on his new movie. They talked about getting along with right wing assholes. Oh, whales. I honestly don't want to talk to someone who neglects, beats up, and abuses B. Sirius Brooks. If they hold up, I'll run one. Don't care if it's pretty. Yeah. Rick said, I heard cadmium saddles don't show shat marks. Yeah, large Marge will tell you leather tension saddles do not hold up to total neglect. You're out, Ben? All right, man. Oh, if your saddle's a magnet for theft, yeah, that would make sense. But I want them for long days. You know, like I said, I could get a buy on a modern saddle for your modern saddle for city rides and stuff like that. Ergons, yeah. It's totally personal. I feel like I'm a B17 evangelist just because long days in the saddle for me they work perfect, but that doesn't mean they work perfect for everyone. the first time we did a long tour, a 5 day tour, and we were halfway in, is when I had bought the B17 that I put on my Trek 500, and that's when I hit about the 600 mile mark, and that's about when, in general, people say with doing nothing they break in, and that's kind of what happened. I already liked it, and then I just all of a sudden felt this like perfect comfort. Like I ride my bike over to my parents. They live about 10 miles from me in the summer to have dinner on Sundays, and it's funny because my nieces and nephews once were looking at it, and they're like, "What is this thing?" Like looking at the saddle, and they're like, I'm the family weirdo in general, right? So, but they're like, how could that be comfortable? And then I described it to them as like a hammock, like you lay between two trees and something that's hanging there. You're like, isn't that comfortable? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's what this is. It's a leather tension saddle, you know. And so as you can imagine, as it just gets comfortable. But oh, your Brooks is getting wet from sweat. Mine gets wet from sweat too. I'm in between. I'm not like a downpour sweat guy, but I am someone who does sweat. Like you know, if it's hot out, I am a sweater. Like everyone's totally different on that too. But that kind of like moisture doesn't damage a saddle because so if you go out for a long ride and you're sweating and your saddle's wet from being sweated on, it's going to dry out before you ride it again, which is the key. So it's the key is that your saddle dries out after you ride it. And then also proof hiding it once in a while. And I don't some people are super aggressive with that. I'm a like I could tell when the color starts to change and that's when I hit it up again with the proof hide. So oh, you got a couple Twin Cities guys in here, huh? Well, I grabbed my last beer. Um, let's see. It's 10:30. If you guys want to nerd out for a little longer, I will hang out for a little longer, but I'm going to grab another beer. So maybe I'll throw up another one of Ben's videos. Oh, Robin and Danny. Yeah, Robin and Danny are Twin Cities for sure. Yeah. Again, go. Did I link Danny's store in the? Well, it's linked in the Discord if you're not in there, but let's throw it up in the chat so you can get one of these. Like you said too, he's like when he posted, he's like, I don't have any cycling stuff, but to me, this is kind of a cycling hat too because he's got the upturned bill. So let's throw up that link. Yeah, like I said, support Danny. He's rad. He came up with the coolest logo for me that you could imagine. Oh, we do have a. Oh, I should say this because I said it out loud because I'm drinking and I just am going off of what I see. But what Patrick was saying, just to be clear, State Bicycles is in QAnon. There's a group called Single Speed Arizona, and Robert was saying a few of those guys are kind of QAnon, however you even say that. I read almost all my news, so I messed up on this, but yeah. So I should put that up there. That was not a state bicycle thing comparing state bicycles to QAnon. I stand by the rest of my rant, but yeah, let's make that clear that it wasn't state. It was an Arizona bicycle group where some people were those kind of people. So yeah, let's get that up there. I'll show the logo again. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that so cool? Like I said, it's funny when anyone draws like a character of you. You're like, I'm slightly offended, but they're right. That is, I mean, like when I showed it to Aaron and I showed it to Ben before I, you know, did anything with it, and it's like, hell yeah. I mean, that is so good, you know. And he really nailed all my stuff right there, you know. I said the vintage camera, the bottle of beer, and the bike. But yeah. Oh, that's so awesome! You guys are connecting. Hell yeah. Oh, what's up? We got Charlie in here. How you doing, man? I did see too a bunch of. It's funny how long the mail took. So some of the stuff, the some of the swag I delivered by hand to some of the locals, I dropped it off, and then I got a bunch of you guys have also DM'd me that it arrived today and yesterday. So I'm glad everyone got that stuff. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we did a giveaway in the live stream. So everybody who was here and sent me an address got something. Lanky, he's probably asleep now, or I don't know what. He's probably not here at this late hour. He usually is. Me and Ben are going to ride that out to you one day and drop it in your mailbox, and then same thing. Summit Perry still haven't gotten out that way because of the cold weather and the icy conditions, but I want to make those bike drop offs, and not because I'm cheap, just because that's a cooler way to do it. So, yeah, nailed the teeth. Let me now. I didn't even think of the teeth. Now I gotta look at the teeth. Huh? Yeah. I've actually cleaned up the beard a little bit since then, but it's still on point. And like I said, I did not realize like the whole dimple thing or any of that. It's pretty good for like you look. Oh, you're hey, what's up, Lanky? You're still here. Yeah, yeah. With your ride being with what your address is being like towpath ride and up the hill. I was telling Ben because that's what we were considering when we did the mountain bike ride instead. I was like, but it was too cold. I'm like, we can't do a road ride today. I'm like, I gotta get out to Lanky's and drop this in his box. But it's like, yeah, we can't do that tonight. It's gonna be very the teeth stash interference. It's gonna be too cold to do like a. I think it'd be like I mapped it. I think it's like a 35-mile round trip, so nothing crazy. But yeah, totally want to do it. Hey, what's up, Gary? Is that yeah? Do you like how I assume everything about your guys' personality by what time you usually drop out of my weekday live streams? Oh yeah, I was gonna grab Ben's YouTube channel out of here. Get your beer. Rick said, oh, like he says, no rush doing warm. It's not and it's half temperature, half trail conditions, and we could also ride the roads too. But yeah, I was telling Ben what the route was. He's like, yeah, let's do that one day. But it is mostly Rick's money, so if they sue me, well, that was so loud to you guys. Got down to the 50s, Robert. Uh, so this is do I grab my beer and take a leak? This is Ben's video from our Ohio to Erie over 4th of July weekend last summer. Wait, I almost did it again. Yeah, that place we stayed, the Airbnb we found in Cincinnati, we decided, of course, finishing this long ride, we're going to do a champagne toast. Was that Ben goes down and he finds some plastic champagne glasses and 3 packages of edibles. So for some reason, there was just a drawer, a cupboard with plastic champagne glasses and edibles, and so that really cool view looking out over Cincinnati. And of course, we did. This is last summer, so it's COVID touring. Cincinnati, we wanted to go out to all the cool breweries and bars like we had the year before, but we didn't. So we did a run for beer and food and all that stuff. And I'm just trying to pick up. Sorry. But yeah, Ben comes up with those, and I'm like, I'll eat a tiny bit of those. I'm familiar with the weed, but I just remember like an hour later just being out of my mind. So drop that link one more time for Ben's channel. Yeah, like I said, that's Ben's channel. He's got a new GoPro, so I'm guessing he's going to be dropping even more videos. The whole dry heat thing, yeah, I've never really understood. It is, I mean, that humidity thing here. Some days where the air feels like you could just slice it. Even on that tour, both times we did the Ohio to Erie Trail, it was super hot, and as long as you're moving, you're fine. But you stop, and it's just like, just a yeah, yeah, yeah. I learned my lesson on that stuff. I'm kind of, I've out. No, I don't care what anyone does at all. But yeah, just weed is not up my alley anymore. And yeah, edibles, you just don't know how much you're getting. When I was younger and you were smoking it, it's like you could regulate how high you were getting. Edibles, they just kick in. You have no idea what's going to happen. Ben's trying to keep his average at one video a year. You're doing pretty good. You got some old stuff up there. You got some like 5-year-old fixie stuff. The devil's cabbage. This is the bike Ben rode when I met him. This is like the only bike I saw him on. Different wheel set though, right? Or just in the front because you have velocities on it now, right? Also, when you were still riding straps instead of the cages before you went clipless. Thank God you got out of there before that car came through. You would have died. ACN? ACN. What does that stand for, Robert? Man. That's what we should pop up while we're talking. His video from doing the where's that? Oh, alternative cycling effort. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I don't think they want me over there. I don't. I do not know. You guys know. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys come here to teach me about cycling, not the other way around. What the fuck? Yeah, that's it. Ben in his threw up this other video that he posted his whole year, his 2020 year video. I don't think we showed it on here, did we? But he has a bunch of his Mid South footage. So I don't know if you guys know about the Mid South gravel race. It would be comparable to Come On Brain, the most famous one that they changed the name of. But why don't we watch this in the background while we all keep chatting? But yeah, Ben's Mid South footage when it rained and it became a nightmare and nobody else finished. I'll get it. I didn't. They don't want him after the review of the E-Shifter. Hey, dirty content. Yeah, yeah. I gave a bad review of the E-Shifter, but I also Aaron bought a Crust Bombora, so me and Russ got something, right? But look at the delay. It's funny because the delay, because I expect everything to be instant, and so yeah, yeah. Let's throw this up here in the background while we talk, right? Why not? This is the way to do it, especially as we get later here. Are you not getting punctures in the debris fields? We're usually riding tubeless when we're riding that kind of gravel ride. So, man, tubeless is the shit on gravel tires. You got to look up Akron. We're the We're the rubber capital of the world. Yeah, 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 Gary. Yeah, Akron is the World War II. This was from the early teens to World War II was the fastest growing city in the United States. But yeah, now it's all post industrial, and you could see. I mean, that was a whole mixture of stuff. But from my videos and the other stuff, it's just post industrial. Rust Belt. But yeah, so BF Goodrich, Firestone, Goodyear, Quaker Oats, marbles. Serious kids' toys were invented in this town. Yeah, very important city at a point before our time, and that's why Devo is so popular because they articulated the decline of all that in music so well. But yeah, Ruver, did I say Ruver? What's Robert say? Another dude he works at the shop rides with a Mazzi gravel bike with Axis 1 by and 11 speed cassette 11 to 34. Yeah, if you're not racing, I don't want. Yeah, do you need that? No, but if someone wanted to give me a Di2 group set, would I take it? Hell yeah. I mean, thought it was by Coldwater, Ohio. Now that's something I've never heard of. Interesting. Me and Ben met a guy when we used to do those Akron party bike rides that I've shown a couple of when I first started doing cycling videos up here, and he was obsessed with that company. But then also, I read a great book by the guy who's done the Tour de France route and the Giro d'Italia route from 1913, and he actually met the owners of Mozzie and that stuff. Oh, it cut off. I lost my battery. I don't have a secondary camera set up here. Yeah. I thought I did. I'll grab battery. Gary says Mozzie the greatest bikes ever made. So I do love how the Italian bike manufacturers, besides Bianchi, which I don't mean to rule out, they still make great bikes and they've always made great bikes. But Bianchi is more typical of a French or an American manufacturer where they also sell garbage mass marketed bikes. Give me 1 second here on the face. There we go. Good. We're back. Battery's just a modern DSLR is going to last so long on even a really expensive battery. But I also think that's what shows why what we're talking about with these modern shifting group sets. So this is bigger than this is to run a DSLR. Might even jump back into the conversation. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think you misspelled cerulean. Well, that's an interesting thing too to consider. So, like, with modern stuff, like I think Pudgy talked about this earlier. Like the rear derailleur on SRAM's $700. Like, dude, that's not accessible. That's not. And do you want, like, when we're looking at Ben's Mid-South footage, you wouldn't take that out there. You'd be like, I'm not going to take that bike in these conditions. What good does a component do you if you have to worry about it all the time? And I feel about that, like, with cameras too. Like, like, if it was to the point that I had to worry about taking it with me, it's not a valuable asset to have. And I feel like we're getting to that point. With those $300 ones, I'm waiting till Russ, Pathless Pedaled, starts putting them on some different things. And let's see when he tests them out and how they do. And let's see how they also improve it. Because I think there's a justification for that. I don't have, like I said, some of my 9-speed Shimano still shifts awesome. The 11-speed on the Raleigh is killer. But you could think, like, where me and Ben were on some of those, like, icy things where if it was instant, it would have it would have a benefit to my riding. It would make my riding better. But at $700 for a rear derailleur, no, it's not worth it. I'm not winning World Tour races. I'm not racing. Yeah. The cost isn't worth the risk. Yeah. Oh yeah. I pretty much, I think Pudgy bought a subscription because if he could just bring up the Bear Claw every so often, that's what makes him happy in life. Let's grab another video up here, right? Yeah. And those people aren't human. Some people lead the pack at Mid-South run electronic shifting, also 30mm slicks. Yeah. Those are not human beings. They have no relation to our lives. Yeah, they're free. They don't pay for any of that shit. I still like road groups. I'm trying to be like not a curmudgeon, you know, too. Like not like I am with, because I'm not in my single speeding mid south. Yeah, but same thing. Like I love my vintage cameras, and I know where I like them the best. I know where they hit their sweet spot before too much stuff got changed to nylon gearing and plasticky parts that don't work well. But like when I'm doing my job, when I'm working, like I have a Canon R5 that cost almost $4,000, right? You know, like, but that's how I make my living. So like someone who wins gravel races, the latest technology and all that stuff makes total sense, right? You know, but if I'm just going out also to ride for fun, I'm not winning anything. Like, what is fun to ride? What is comfortable? Like I said, like the Neo Retro build and stuff like that, I enjoy, and it's fun, and it's functional, and it's not like a worry all the time. Like my new camera, like I don't leave home without it. Like when I go to spend a Saturday night at Aaron's, it comes with me. It's always a concern, but it's worth being a concern because like that camera pays my bills, right? So same thing with like fancy bikes, like, but us normal humans, like aero profile tubing and all this kind of stuff, it's not relevant. It doesn't matter. Like the only thing that matters to us is making the cycling experience fun, you know. And once in a while, I have a good time riding like down tube friction shifting. I like knowing the history of cycling. I like riding the history of cycling, and maybe that's just a nerdy outside perspective, but I think it makes sense. But yeah, yeah. And also pros ride what they're paid to ride. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chris Froome, who moved from Sky Ineos, went over to Israel Startup Nation. The bikes they're riding, I think they're factors, are only disc brakes. And when he got interviewed, he criticized them, and he was like, "I don't like it as much." He was like, "Technology's not there. It's not necessary for road bikes." And take a step outside the debate, but Chris Froome only said this because he's Chris Froome, and Israel Startup Nation can't say anything to him. Like every other pro is not allowed to say that kind of stuff. They are paid to say whatever they are riding is the best. It's a weird thing about pro cycling versus like American sports, football, basketball, where you don't like if you're wearing Nike shoes. If Nike's not paying you, you don't. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. Can't think of the right word, but hawk Nikes. Cycling, you pretend whatever you're riding is the greatest thing that has ever been fucking made. It was amazing to see Chris Froome break with that cycling tradition and be like, I'm not into this. It doesn't mean I agree with him. I mean, disc brakes are better for all the stuff that us humans ride, right? But he was saying for a World Tour Pro, disc brakes have no advantage. And he was saying this against what his sponsor had given him. That's never happened. I don't think that's ever happened, right? I, as someone who loves UCI World Tour cycling, have never seen that happen. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. I am totally wasted. I thought I was going to play another video. Isn't that what we're going to do? We're going to have fun and watch another cycling video before we go. It's 11:10. Yeah, let's get one more good cycling video up here. Nike says he's out. Have fun with your $700 derailleurs. Yeah, that's right. Nike's got my back. Shimano forever. Well, Pudgy's a Shimano guy too. Yeah. And like I said, it's what you're used to. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know the longevity of any of this stuff. What comes into a shop over and over again, the mechanics are who I listen to. And Otis likes, so Pudgy likes Shimano, Otis likes SRAM, is what it is. But I have a bunch of 9-speed group sets from the 90s. My Dura-Ace group set, 7800 group set, shifts like butter. I mean, it's just so nice. But it is what it is. It's all about that 2x8 Sora lifestyle. It's just like butt. Yeah, I think I actually learned this from one of our last streams. I don't 10-speed Shimano did only Dura-Ace go into 10-speed and they never made like a 105 10-speed? Did 105 go straight from 9 to 11? I have to believe that's true because I've never seen a 10-speed. Is only Dura-Ace 10-speed? But okay, you only know SRAM. I do vintage stuff, so I think that's why I understand the Shimano hierarchy so well, is because they've never changed their names and they've been around forever. I mean, they have, but you're going back to the 80s to when they had changed their group set names. Whereas I have to ask everybody like the SRAM stuff, and it's not because I joke about it, but it's just that I don't have it. Like, so I've got 3 9-speed group sets by Shimano. No, 4, but Ultegra had a 10-speed. Okay, but so 105 never had a 10-speed. Because now 105 is always the second 1 year off, like or one generation off on Ultegra and Dura-Ace. But it's interesting too. I heard some people talking about like some people prefer the 105 and Ultegra when it's a generation off Dura-Ace because they like that clickiness. But like I was saying, with my 9-speed Dura-Ace versus my 9-speed 105, that it's a road bike that I have it on, that Peloton, Schwinn Peloton. That like it is just like absolute, like it just, you don't even feel you're pushing the levers. It's just butter. But I have no problem on my touring bike with the 9-speed 105, and I have 9-speed Ultegra on my trainer. But the Dura-Ace you feel the quality. I don't know what I mean. It's like that was the wrong. I do know what I mean, but you just feel like that precision shifting. I don't know. Like I said, I've only, and we were having this conversation, I know, like in the Discord about SRAM. And so I only have ever tried it out by riding the shop bikes, like the bikes from Dirty River, because my friend Otis and Large Marge, they work there. So it's like I get a ride, like some of the bikes around the block. Otis will be like, take this around the block. But when it's SRAM, like the way the double action lever works is confusing to me. I know if I rode it every day, it'd be totally comfortable and it wouldn't matter. But the double lever of Shimano just makes sense to me. And having a 2001 mountain bike that I've had since 2001, and then going to the road bike group set, it just all makes sense to me. You know, it's just whatever group set I change to in their lineup works. If I had a bike that had SRAM, I'm sure it would be SRAM. I'm sure it'd be totally fine. I'd totally get used to it. But that weird double lever action confuses me at first. I'm trying to read through all the comments. We really do need a shrimp goop. So I told this story on Thursday, um, and I really do believe this. So I, it doesn't matter, like ride what you like in any way, whether it's super vintage, super modern, whether it's SRAM, Shimano, whatever bike brand you like, unless it's Trek because they fucking love cops who kill black people. That's all. That's a joke too, but it's also kind of true. But yeah, I have two Treks, whatever. But the point being, like, ride what you like, have fun with what you like. But so the photographer I bought this studio off of, still one of my best friends. I, when I was first working for him, we'd be on sets and it would drive me crazy because I'm like, I wish I had my camera were in these cool places, but I'm working for someone. I'm just setting up lights. One time he handed me their B camera, their second camera. He was like, hey, just get some, well, we're doing these setup shots, get some shots behind the scenes. And he handed me the camera, and it was a Nikon, and I'm a Canon shooter. I've just always had Canons. And when I tried to go and like do like the three adjustments I need to do, which is ISO, which back in the day was film speed, aperture, which is how high big the lens is open, and shutter, which is how fast it was going, I didn't know where they were. I couldn't find them. I couldn't figure out in the spur of the moment, on the spot. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a good photographer. I have an eye. I didn't know how to work that piece of equipment. And when I told him, I'm like, I didn't get anything. He's like, yeah. He's like, when we got back to the studio, he's like, I shouldn't have done that to you. I should have realized. Same thing between SRAM, Shimano, Campy, whatever you want it to be. Like, it's not a, and they leapfrog each other too. One's better this year, one's better the next year, whether it's Canon or SRAM or whatever. So that's my take on it. It's like, hey, if it works for you and it's what you're used to, like you came into cycling always having a SRAM group set, stick with it. Stick with it. When people ask me my opinion on camera gear, that's what I always say to them. Like, what do you have now? I'm not trying to win them over. Canon doesn't pay me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not a Canon ambassador. You got a Fuji? Get the Fuji camera that is in your price range. You already know what the menus look like. You know where the buttons are. Stick with that shit. That's really my opinion. I will talk shit all day because that's who I am as a person, like as for fun. But like when we're talking to a group here where you guys don't all know me super personally, ride what you like. You know what I mean? I like Shimano because I've always ridden Shimano, but that doesn't mean it's the best. It means it works for me. You know, and I think you guys have seen too in my review videos. I always say that it's like, and I don't do like true reviews, but it's like I always say like, here's what I've learned, and hopefully you can take something from this. It doesn't mean it's the definitive right. Like we were talking about saddles, I like B17s, but that doesn't mean that's what's gonna work for you. You know. Fuji's are bikes too. Oh, Jesus says switching between cameras. Yeah, you can't switch between. In the film world, I can. Like when I'm going out to hobby shoot, like with what this wall is here, I could switch between cameras because I'm going slow anyways. But as a working pro, no, it's all got to be like Canon. It's got to be Canon. That's what I know. I can't miss the shot. They're paying me not to miss the shot. But that's not because Canon's better. That's because I know where the button is. You know. Yeah, it's important. I mean, all right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think I gotta go to sleep. I drank 4 9% beers. Got an octopus. Yeah, glass is spendy. Hey. I was looking, I had my camera sitting out here before, but yeah, like I said before, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Um, I will get, like, it's listed as one of the perks. I'm not ready. It's only Tuesday. These only went live Monday, but there will be a screen right here that pops up that talks about the members and you guys being awesome. And like I was telling her about it, I'm like, I can't even believe it. It's awesome that you guys want to support, and if you do, and like even tuning in is supporting. A thumbs up is supporting. Writing a comment is supporting. That's all that matters. But to know that like some of you guys do go the extra mile is just and is amazing, and it's meaningful. So yeah, I'll do my best to keep this being awesome because I love the main thing is community. Like I said, when I started, it was just to make myself better at doing video and photography and everything. But now, like it still is, but now it's this community that has been, this community is awesome that we have here. And let's keep growing it and let's spread it and support, anyone you can. Doesn't have to be me. Any creator, any local creator in your town, you could throw something at, buy their song for $2. That little shit, trust me, they care about it. It matters. They read your name, they think about it. So do it, yeah. Whether it's me, whether it's someone else, whether music's your thing, whether art's your thing, support those dudes. And I will see you guys. Upload tomorrow at 7 a.m., but I'll see you live on Thursday. So.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.